Welcome to my first ever video update for my PowerSheets. I'm excited to, instead of typing out how I'm doing on my goals, show you how I'm using my PowerSheets in the process to make progress on what matters little by little. So first of all, hey, I'm Lara if we've never met, and I'm the creator of this here PowerSheets Goal Planner, and I'm going to share with you every month, Lord willing, my progress on my big picture goals. So I have 4 big picture goals for this year. My first one is to have a no-spend year, to grow a faithful life over a comfortable life. Number 2, I'll just show you. Okay, so I first will tell you a little PowerSheets hack. It's so simple. If you have the goal setting sticker book, which is your PowerSheets and goal planning's best friend, okay, this right here has all the good stuff in it. So if you don't have one, go to the shop and get one. I did a little hack and I took 2 of the flag stickers from the PowerSheets sticker book and I put them back to back and I made my own little tab so I can find my goals and my PowerSheets really easily. How awesome is that? All right, so I have 4 goals. First one is the year of heart, a heart connection with the Lord. It's all about growing my faith. Number 2, I already told you, having a no-spend year, growing a faithful life over a comfortable life. Number 3, the year of slow. And number 4, the year of Sabbath. So those are my 4, what I call big picture goals, things I want to hopefully make some really good progress on all throughout this year, and a lot of these throughout my life. How am I doing that? I'm breaking those down into actionable, bite-sized mini goals that I'm tackling over the course of a few months or in a given month, just in little, tiny, smaller bits of time. So one way I do that is using my PowerSheets tending list. So if you've never heard about PowerSheets before, hey, welcome. I'm glad you're here. The PowerSheets walk you through a process of understanding what matters to you, understanding your purpose and your priority, and then making an action plan so that you can get after it. So part of that is, after you do a few guided worksheets, you make a tending list for each month, which breaks down your monthly, your weekly, and your daily goals. So here we go. This is my tending list from January. So first I want you to just note that this is not a to-do list. It's not a traditional to-do list where if you don't check something off, it's just not done. This is a progress list. It's a list of things you hope to tend to, just like a plant, over time to make progress on them. So you'll see that I don't have check boxes here. We have progress bars, and you'll also note that all of my bars are not perfectly filled out because all progress is imperfect progress. And you don't have to make perfect progress to achieve a goal. How about that? So over time, your little tiny steps will add up. So this is my January tending list. I'm going to walk you through a few things that I did to make progress. Like, what does it even look like to make progress on some of these goals? Actually, before I do that, I have to tell you one more thing. And that is these dots over here. They look super fancy. Like, wow, your tending list is color-coded. Let me tell you, I'm not a color coding person. In fact, showing you this makes me kind of giggle because I think it probably looks like I'm a color coding person. I'm not. I am not even innately a goal person, but I PowerSheet, if you will, because I want to use my days intentionally. And so in the goal setting sticker book, we have this super easy goal setting color coding system. Again, it sounds really fancy, but it's so simple. Here's what it is. You look at your big picture goals for the year. So I'm going to go flip back to those. Okay, so here are my 4 big picture goals, and you'll notice that I have given them each a color flag from our sticker book. All right, so for instance, my goal of having a no-spend year, growing a faithful life over a comfortable life. Let's just flip over and look at my January tending list. Remember this color. It's got this pretty teal right here. So we're going to go over to my January tending list. Do you notice some of these monthly, weekly, and daily action items have colors associated with them? So the first one, begin the contentment challenge, that is associated with my goal of a no-spend year. So it helps me to remember why I'm doing my goals. Helps me to remember the big picture goal that they are connected to. It's so simple. It's not rocket science. But here is the science part of it. It is so easy to forget about our big picture goals. It's just easy and natural. Our bodies and our brains like to go through the motions. They like to have safety and comfort and just to do the same old things they've always done. So when you start to set goals, that means that you're shaking things up and your brain is going to start to be like, what? This is too much. And change is hard. It creates stress. That's the point. But if you are willing to wade through that period of stress, we call it change, but it's really stress. If you are willing to wade through that period, eventually your goals will become easy. They will become habit. You will grow in those things and it won't feel so hard after a while. So it helps so much to have these color-coded dots because my why, that big picture goal, helps me to remember why I'm doing it, and it helps me to push through the times I feel like I'm going to give up. So I look at this goal and I think, all right, begin the contentment challenge, for instance. The contentment challenge is fasting from spending on things that you don't need. And side note, yes, it sounds like, of course, everybody should try to not spend on things they don't need, but we know this is a challenge. It's so hard, right? Maybe it's just a coffee from Starbucks here and there, or larger purchases, whatever it is. For me, I wanted to fast from it so I could rely on the Lord more instead of spending it on a plant at the store. You know, I like plants. So having this little dot right here, as seemingly small as it is, reminds me of my why, and the why helps me to push through when things get tough. And that is helpful. That's worth it. So I had to tell you first what the goal setting color coding system is. It's so simple and so helpful. Okay, so my first goal, begin the contentment challenge. You can read all about this on my blog. You can look at Nancy Ray's blog too. I made progress here. I did spend money on 2 things, and I have given myself, and really feel like it's okay, permission to spend money on these specific things because they help me with other goals. So for instance, one of my other goals is to have a year of slow and to cultivate the hearts of our children. One way we are doing that as a family, and Ari and I are doing that, is trying to grow our family narrative. Now that's a fancy way of saying we're just trying to create really good memories for our kids that help them see God's faithfulness and remember that. One way that's so simple to do that is through photographs. So I am letting myself spend some money, not excessive, but enough on essential photographs that I think are going to help our family to remember God's faithfulness. And I have some tips for you. I used Free Prints and Free Photo Book. There's 2 apps. You just pay shipping. And granted, you could probably get a free shipping coupon from another place and sort of pay the same, but it was such a good deal and the quality was excellent. And I think I paid like $7 or $8 for, I should show it to you, this really cute little photo book of pictures that my friend Gina took of us in our garden. And the kids have already loved looking through it. And I know that that builds memories, it builds their hearts, it builds our reminders that God is so good and faithful. So that is one little small spot that I'm allowing myself to spend money on, and also have talked to Ari about it too, because it helps us in that goal. So no spend year, going well. Begin Heart School. So I changed homeschool to heart school because I wanted us to have a deeper focus on growing hearts, not just growing minds or filling our brains with knowledge, but on cultivating Grace's heart in that. And that is going very well. Side note, I highly recommend if you're new to homeschooling or deep within it. I am basically brand new to it too. I've only been doing it for about 2 years. But I highly recommend Math UC. We are loving Math UC. So if you're looking for a math program, have to recommend. So that's going very well. We've actually talked about the Lord's heart, and this month of February, we're going to be reading books about God's heart too and studying some scriptures. All right, do the Fresh Faith Challenge. This one, right, where are we? Here. I cannot say enough good about how this went. I talked about this in one of my podcast episodes, but it's so simple. I typically have thought of myself as a morning person. Like I get up, I do my Bible reading first thing in the morning, Lord willing. And it's just because I feel like if I don't do it in the morning, the rest of the day is going to get away from me and I'm not really going to have time to do it. And I never thought to myself that I could do something similar also at night. I know that sounds so simple. Like, yeah, of course you can. I just, in my identity box, thought of myself as a morning person, so I never considered it. So I just happened to do my Write the Word journal one evening instead of in the morning, and it was awesome. And over 31 days, I wrote the word at night before I went to bed, and it really helped me to decompress. It helped me to capture my thoughts. It helped me to pour out the thoughts on paper to the Lord instead of maybe even complaining to Ari. So it has been so fruitful, and there have certainly been times that I didn't want to do it or I felt like I was tired, but I pushed through, and I'm going to keep that going for February too. I'm excited about that. Okay, cultivate our 2019 calendar. Yes, progress here. I looked ahead at our entire calendar for the year, already put little vacation blocks here and there of like 2 or 3 days wherever I felt we could with our family schedule. And most of all, just tried to block out time for the things that really matter to us so that my schedule doesn't plan me before I get a word in. Highly recommend going and listening to my free live class on how to plan your year. You can just search for it, How to Plan Your Year, Lara Casey, and you'll find it. Okay, prayerfully record the podcast. The podcast continues to give me the heebie-jeebies because it is scary to put yourself out there, and you might be contemplating a leap of faith yourself right now, and it's just hard. It's hard to do something new. But I have to say I've had a lot of fun with it when I pray about it. If I just try to go into it and I don't stop and say, Lord, this is your time, you tell me what to put into that microphone, then I start to worry about what people are going to think of me or how well I did. So it has been so fruitful for me to stop and just pray and say, God, just take my words away and give me what you want me to say. And it's been fun. All right. Lastly, on my monthly goals is prayerfully set new company goals and pace. Yes, we've made progress. All right. And then my weekly action, I'm so excited to tell you about this. Study Psalm 90:12, which is teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. This has been life-changing. Life-changing. I'm going to be 40 this year, and I am not having a midlife crisis. Nope. Maybe just a little bit. I wouldn't call it a crisis, though. I'd call it an opportunity, because reading through Psalm 90:12 at this point in my life and having also a sort of recent neck injury has really, there's a lot of compounding factors to this, has really helped me to focus in on using my days well. So studying that, I will continue to do that, Lord willing, for the entire year. I feel like that's my scripture for this year. All right. And then really excited to tell you about this, our weekly family Sabbath. So yes, we do not work on Sundays, but the typical Sabbath day in the Bible is Saturday, and my husband is Jewish. And if you want to hear our story, just go listen to the first episode of our podcast. I just said our podcast. He was on it, so it kind of is his podcast too. But we have been doing the Jewish practice of Sabbath on Saturday, and it has been so great. We light the Shabbat candles on Friday night, and just knowing that when the sun goes down, we're going to light those candles, and it's just the sweetest thing. We do the traditional things that Ari did as a kid, and Josh, what you do is you wave your hands over the candles. There's 2 candles. You wave your hands over the candles to symbolize ushering in the light of Shabbat, of the light of God. And Josh, he loves it. He just does this. It's like he's fanning in cinnamon roll smell or something. He's just sweet and into it. And it has been a day that we will hopefully continue to grow in this and our understanding of what God wants us to do on the Sabbath and not to do. But we have started by not doing any errands, not doing any work meaning things like projects around the house, not traditional work at my desk. I don't work on the weekends, but even things like filling our days with projects or filling our days with errands. It was so draining, and it made every day feel like the same. And that's the point, is to set this day apart for the Lord. There's also a great book that I had started reading last year called The Emotionally Healthy Spirituality that has a great chapter on that too. So more to come there as we grow in that throughout the year. But guys, the last 2 weekends, I have taken a nap. I am not a napper. But that last 2 weekends, I took a nap. Josh said, "Oh, Mommy, please stay with me here at nap time." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay." So I did. So that's been going really well. And the only reason I didn't mark that there is because there was no Saturday there. All right, Old Testament Bible reading plan. Let's go down to my daily one. So daily on your tending list should really be habits and daily things that you want to tend to little by little. And so these daily action items or habits are my Old Testament Bible reading plan. I'm reading the Bible Project Old Testament in a Year plan with a small group of, I think we've got like 10 or 12 close friends. And it's been so great to go through the Bible slowly. And also there's really good illustrative videos in this plan. So it's never too late to start. You could start. Write the Word. That was part of my Fresh Faith Challenge. And I'm excited to do that more. And sing. I have been trying to really use the gifts that the Lord has given me, albeit imperfect, for Him. He doesn't give us a gift for nothing, right? So it might be singing in the shower, it might be singing with the kids, it might be singing by myself. I've really enjoyed that. All right, and then lastly, but not least, is my strength goal, which you will see is kind of popcorned around. And I just really count this as a huge win. I don't look at that and say, oh, I didn't do it every day. This was so great. I've made so much progress. I don't have a gym membership. I'm here in the morning with the kids. And so it's tricky. I'll say that. Don't look at me and think I'm super mom. It is tricky to corral 3 kids and try to get a workout in at the same time. So I just have to involve them. So we have this little basket of free weights downstairs. Sometimes we literally play race to the door. Sometimes we play a silly game called Walk Like This, where we all do silly walks, and we do that, or I run up and down my stairs. But I know that my mental and emotional, even spiritual well-being is so deeply connected to me strengthening the body that God gave me. So I'm trying my best there. So that was January. Overall, I count January as a long month. I feel like so much happened in January. I know it's 31 days, but think about it. How did you feel on the first of this year, and how are you feeling now? Don't you feel like so much life has happened in that time? There have definitely been times, just for encouragement for you, there have definitely been times in the month of January and as we start February that I have felt like, oh man, I have to do this again. But then I remember, oh yeah, my brain's not really with it yet. This habit hasn't been solidified. So I have to coach myself and say, just do it this time. You're going to feel so grateful that you did. And I'm always so grateful when I take these healthy steps forward. So there you go. Okay, on to February. So for those that don't know, I have a degree in music theater, and in my speech and dialects class, we learned that it is not February, it is February. Nobody says it like that. I'm not going to say it like that, but it's true. Speech teachers, I heard ya. Okay, here we go. We're going to flip over to my February tending list. These are my goals for February, which you can read all about below on the blog. And if you're just joining on the YouTubes or the Vimeos, then go to laracasey.com/blog and you'll hear all about my goals. I'm really excited for this month of February. I have a few more things on my list, but part of it is because I'm continuing some things from January. I hope this video has encouraged you. I'm excited to hear about your progress too. So it's your turn. Tell me about a goal that you have for this month ahead of February. Drop a note in the comments, and every month I give away a goodie box from the Cultivate shop. Who knows? You could win a goal-setting sticker book. Bye, friends.